Welcome to the Big E. This is the place where we explore, we experience, and we enjoy our life. And as I say, if you're not enjoying your life, change your experience. The quickest way to change your life is to change the way you're treating yourself or you're treating someone else. Today I'd like to talk about who is going to save you. So who is going to save us? Who's saving us from our life? Who's saving us from the chaos in the world? I've done a show before kind of on this topic as far as the UFOs won't save us. I do not believe God is going to save us by his second coming. It's our responsibility. But I wanted to kind of share some tools and some steps on how to look at your life and accept your life. There are beliefs that we've been raised in, whether it's our family environment, you can hear things in school, or as you've grown up. One belief which is so entrenched in us as humans is we believe that we can get a job, or we need to get a job, or we have to get a job so that we're not broke. Money is a belief system. If you believe you are going to be broke, you will be broke. If you believe you have money to take care of yourself and your needs, you will have that money. It is a belief system, and it's not real in the sense of getting a job, so I'm not broke. If you believe, again, you use that word, that is exactly what you're going to create. Another thing that is a very entrenched belief system, especially in my life when I was a child, is if we pray to God, then he will save me from making wrong decisions. Let me ask you, have you made, as an adult, have you made a wrong decision in your life yet? I'm here to say I've made plenty. Now, for me, there's not a wrong or a right, but I've made choices that I really didn't like. It's like, what the hell was I thinking? So I changed that experience. I changed the choice. Okay, I'm going to choose something else. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go over there. I change what that is feeling like into something that I like a lot better. Another belief that we have is we need to find a partner. I need to find a man so I'm not lonely. I need to get into a relationship so it will save me from loneliness. Another thing that we are entrenched in is if we go to church, if we read the Bible, that will save us from going to hell. These are things that have been in our lives as society, humanity, for a very, very long time. I believe these things are used to control us so that we do not get into our power, so that we do not get into those brilliant beings that we can be. The control was done out of fear. A perfect example will say a relationship. We have a partner and they get used to how you are and the relationship, and it's suddenly, say you heal something, you stand up, you become stronger, you become more powerful. Your purpose is engulfing you. You're lighting up in that. It's a little intimidating. It's hard to think that, oh my God, if they're like that or they get more of that, they're going to leave me. So there's fear, and in fear, there's control. The energetics we've come out is that dense, dark, controlling energy. So these beliefs of going to church, reading the Bible will save us from hell, or getting into a relationship will save us from loneliness. These are things we've always been taught. So to look at something that's new, to look at something that is possible that we could probably create. Have we really created it? Can we create it? Can we create something different? I don't like old belief structures for me because they keep me limited. They keep me away from all of my possibilities, my grandness, my magnificence to love, to connect, to build, to create. Oh my God, I could go on forever. I don't like old belief systems for just that reason. I don't want to play small. This time in my life, it's the first time I'm really standing up. But I want to be bold. I want to be extremely courageous in my life so that I can create this power, this beauty, this love. And I know it will touch the planet, shift the planet, and it will heal the planet. And that is why I am here. So for all of us, let's be courageous. Let's step up. Let's be brilliant. Let's not be afraid. Let's be courageous, because actually nothing will save us but ourselves. We need to choose ourselves, be selective for ourselves, and be brave to make choices, knowing there's no wrong choice. Some don't feel as good as others. Be courageous, step out. Don't be afraid to experience something new. Don't be afraid to get out there and try something new, meet someone new. Look at how that experience unfolds and it blossoms. When there is fear, you can pass that fear on to your children, as it has happened in my life. My parents, as I've said on other shows before, I was thinking, okay, have I said this before? Should I not say this? Oh, you know me, I'm kind of transparent. My father was a Southern Baptist preacher. So for me, when I was raised in that, I took on my parents' beliefs of hell, fire, brimstone, damnation, if I'm not good enough, if I don't dress a certain way, act a certain way, talk a certain way, on and on and on. So those limitations kept me in the control of my father, because his belief was the hellfire and brimstone, and also with my mother. So if I did those things, I went to church, I read my Bible, I acted kind, I didn't talk back, I didn't express my opinion, I didn't voice myself, I didn't get too big, I didn't get too strong, then they believed that I would go to heaven. That was their fear that they put on me. It's not a bad thing for them. They have a right to that. No one wants to live in life and have fear. It's no fun, believe me, I'm aware of that. But what we do in our life, we can choose for ourselves. But what we do also realize, we do hand those down to our children. And that takes away their ability to choose for themselves until they leave the home, until they leave the family. And sometimes they have to break away from their family or an environment to do something new, to be courageous, to step up and be bold and bodacious and just that brave self. And sometimes it takes that type of a change. With me, I had to do that. I broke away from my family because for me, I wanted to live my life my way. And there was the judgment on me because I wasn't living it their way. So they believed I was wrong. I didn't want to live in that fear. I don't live limited. But it's right for them. And I hope soon, one day, they see that my life is right for me. Their life is not right for me. That's what I want to embrace. That's what I want to bring in. Another belief system that I've been seeing, especially in the younger generation recently, is the aspect of, if I dress nice, if I act normal, I won't feel stupid. I won't feel different. I won't feel silly. This one for me is very difficult to watch. I don't like it. I believe every human being is a beautiful creation. I love our diversities. I love our differences. So to watch the younger generation cower or change or stop being who they are because of what society tells them is a very difficult thing for me, and it's difficult for them. If we could choose to look at them, ask questions. Does something make you uncomfortable? Do they scare you because they're so different? Ask questions. Find out who they really are. It may be kind of weird if you ask a question and they answer it like, you ask what their sexual orientation is, or why do you dress that way, or why do you pierce so much of you. Look at the love that they have for the expression of the answer. Look at the passion they have for themselves, how they've created themselves. There's a place when someone starts to describe themselves when they're healthy, excited, and really owning who they are. If we give them a place to voice who they are and a non-judgmental space to stand in, woo! Let them tell you about every piercing. Every piercing, I bet you, has a meaning. Every tattoo has an expression of a moment in their life that they've lived. Everything what we do as far as we dress, how we speak, how we do our hair, how we do our nails, it is telling us something, and telling the world, you guys out there, it's telling others about who we are. And we feel like we want to be in that moment. I want to be a little sassy, so I wear a different outfit. I want to be demure, so I change my hair. Someone may have very dark clothes, very mismatched clothes, some stripes. I've seen someone in stripes and dots. Oh my God, I love that because it's so eclectic. Now, am I comfortable there? Oh gosh, my generation's like, okay, now I really feel silly. But I love the beauty when someone can be so different and own it and be it. So when we get uncomfortable, what's going to save us from that fear or being uncomfortable with somebody else or something else? Questions. Maybe we can start to open a format of questions. Ask them why. What does it feel like? What did that tattoo mean? What does this dress mean today? Who do you want to be today? There's a new term that I've been hearing recently with the male, female, non-male, female. I guess is what you call it. They're not identifying as a male or a man or a woman. It's a new word in Sweden, or it's not a new word in Sweden, but it's a Swedish word. H-E-N. It's called hen. It's interesting if you're uncomfortable with someone, if you are watching the transgender, the lesbian, gay, this whole society that's creating upon themselves more beauty, more layers of what we can't identify. Because if we can quit labeling them, that may stop. More we want to label them, okay, the more they're going to create. And I love it. I love this dynamic. But what's going to save us from the fear of being uncomfortable with them? Questions. Let's ask questions. Let's be brave and ask and connect and try to see in them their beauty when they talk. Other small ways of our belief system that if we do this, then it will save us from this. How I was raised was I didn't have a voice, so I wasn't seen. My dad, and not necessarily my mother, but my father always said, you are seen and not heard. So as I grew up, if I didn't want to be seen because I got scared of, what is my opinion? Who am I? I don't know. I didn't want people to ask me questions. I didn't want to get into a conversation. I didn't want to have to explain myself because I truly didn't know. So I was not seen. I became invisible. I believed that would save me from people connecting with me or wanting to get to know me or having interest in me. And I realized probably about the 10th or the 11th grade, that wasn't going to work. I had this long black hair. People kind of picked me out. They saw me and I'm going, oh my goodness. I was not saved by my invisibility. I did not have my invisible cloak. So I started to realize as people wanted to get to know me or they, oh, look, she's, and they resonated with me. They would ask me questions and it was hard to respond. I do know at a very early age because I didn't know who I was, but I enjoyed who they were. And I created this beautiful thing inside myself where I could get anybody to talk about themselves. This way I kind of got safe. I kind of got, okay, I don't look too silly, but I created this thing in me that I got people to talk about themselves. And then if they got quiet or slowed down, I'd ask more questions. And here I am today on TV doing interviews and monologues. So that's a power, a gift of mine, is to ask questions and watch a person unfold and blossom, and the passion when they speak and the colors that they can create or that I swirl in. It's so beautiful. So that was one thing I believe that would save me. A lot of us out in the world today, because of everything going on, it's very scary. My belief is if I don't watch the news, will it save me? No, it's not going to change the world. It's not going to change what's happening. What's happening has its own process. What is going to save us from the chaos in the world so that it does not touch our lives or control us is to stay centered and to know who you are. And I go back to being courageous. Be courageous in your life. Choose yourself. Save yourself so that that which is going on in the world does not hurt you. Do not let it catch you unknowingly. Do not let it seep into your life. Be courageous. Choose yourself. Be that defender, that savior for yourself. And how you can do that is to remember, when you make a choice, has it been for you? Does it feel good? Is it comfortable? Is it fun? And it's an interesting thing. Anytime we open or choose from our heart, we really cannot make a wrong choice. There's a little quote I would like to give from Maya Angelou. It's a beautiful saying. I'm going to read it. I've learned, Maya Angelou said, I have learned that whenever I decide from an open heart, I usually make the right decision. If you come from your heart and that love, it's always going to be those right things, not the wrong things. It's a place where we can have clarity, we can see, we can be. It's a beautiful place to start and be brave from the heart. Maya Angelou also had a quote, and I can't remember it right now, but she had a quote about how if you are just now wanting to save yourself and be that savior for yourself, to have courage and be brave, you can do it in small increments. Do it in baby steps. Don't scare the hell out of yourself. So do it slowly and do it in little things and watch and be brave. And does it feel good? Is it fun? Can you do that and love yourself? To save ourselves is also not to blame ourselves or not to have shame around something we've done. Those are energetics, or those are choices. If we stay in the shame and the guilt, that can limit us. Everything else stops. I've said this before. If we choose and say we've made a decision and it didn't feel so good, or say it hurt someone, say you stay there in guilt, everything stops. Wealth stops, love stops, families, everything just stops in you, because universe is now waiting for you to unlock that door. It can't create, it can't give, it can't flow in those places. So the very easiest way to save yourself in those times, make amends. Open your heart, make amends to a person, a thing, a place, yourself. Forgive yourself. Make amends and then forgive yourself. Don't stay in shame. Move on and know you've learned. You have learned to save yourself. And next time you make that choice or you come to something similar, you now know. This felt this way. I didn't like how that felt when I did that to someone. I didn't like how it felt to me. So, what do we do to save ourselves? The show is about who's going to save us. The answer is we're going to save us. And the thing that can save us is love. Love for ourselves. Other things that we believe will save us are words. The word because. When we've done something and we believe we've failed, so that we don't face embarrassment. We believe we will be embarrassed by a failure. We use the word because, and we rationalize to ourselves and to our loved ones or those asking why this particular issue or this thing we did, why it was important to us. Other things that we do are excuses. We use excuses to try and save ourselves out of many different situations, whether it's lies, whether it's truth to a limit, whether it's hurting someone. We'll use an excuse again to try to rationalize why it was important to us, and we believe that will save us. 3 things that we believe will save us are fear, education, and fate. These will save us. There's a couple of those things will keep us out of harm's way. But as we look at fear, education, and particularly fate, in those beliefs, we need to know what is working for us and then what is hurting us. These particular issues can be double-edged swords. So to know ourselves, making those decisions from an open heart and not having the fear that we will fail in any choice that we make for ourselves is also important. Many beliefs that we do have are actually hand-me-downs that we have inherited from our families, from our communities, from culture. So we have a right to look at the things that we believe are going to save us and choose if we want to change them for our good, for our betterment, for our happiness. So I go back to being courageous, being brave in your own life. Step up. Do not fear yourself. Like Maya Angelou said, I'm going to quote it again. I have learned that whenever I decide something with an open heart, I literally will make the right decision. I know with me that that's true because when my heart is open, I'm honest, I'm real, I'm raw, and so I know that in that moment, I really can't make a wrong decision. I have a right to choose an experience. If I don't like the way it feels, I change it. I look at options. I look at some other choices. Those are our rights as human beings. That's our birthright. On this planet, we have chosen a physical experience with the right to choose that experience. And that's feeling, that's expressing, that's being who we are. Those are the things that will save us. Stand in those moments. Be strong. Be brave. I'm supporting you. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I hope you've enjoyed the show. If you'd like to reach out, love to hear your stories, your experiences, share your comments. Contact me through my website and by email, and I'll definitely answer. I will respond. I'm sending you love always.